What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to episode number 4 today of this FIFA 19 career mode. I hope you're having a great weekend. It's about to get even better as we have 4 games for you all to watch here in the Premier League as we continue our journey with our Brighton side. Of course, thank you so much for all of the support over the last 3 episodes. We're going to be coming every day with this series as usual to give you guys the episodes. And first game of the episode is no easy feat. We are taking on Man City, one of the favourites for the title, the current Premier League champions over at the City of Manchester Stadium. And you can see I'm changing around the game plan for our defensive side of it. I just felt like we would go defensive from the offset, which was something that I'm going to try and do against the bigger teams where we're possibly not expected to get a result from. So in terms of my game plans, I will go through them in a future episode. I'll probably go through them more in depth when the full game is released so that I'm not wasting any time and I can kind of talk through a little bit as to why I used each sort of game plan and my thoughts behind them. But just know for now, I pretty much play a standard defensive side, so pretty much pressing on the first touch. That's a mistake. For attacking, press all over. That includes ultra attacking as well. And ultra defensive is basically sit back. So that's the 4 that I currently have set up with balance playing possession football, because that's just the way I play FIFA. I feel like I'm more effective when I keep hold of the ball. But as I said, Manchester City, the first opponents here, live from the Etihad, aka the City of Manchester Stadium. And you guys probably know this because I did touch upon it in a previous episode. I am struggling to get to grips with the whole time finishing and just finishing in general. Honestly, man, I can't seem to find the current rhythm as Manchester City put a cross in early on. And 6 minutes in, Riyad Mahrez rose up against Ryan Sessegnon and headed the home side in front. These crosses, man, they're so effective from the AI this year, especially on Ultimate Difficulty. As soon as they put that ball in, you have to get up and win the ball. Otherwise, the likelihood is that header is going to be going on target and in the goal. Unfortunately, nothing that Matty Ryan could do to stop that. Although I've got to give our Brighton side credit. We didn't just sit back and, to come to the Etihad is one thing, but then have to come back from a 0-0 down to get anything out of the game is a totally different story. So we didn't sit back and just kind of say to ourselves, well, that's the way it'll go, City are a good side and feel sorry for ourselves. We wanted to get ourselves something out of the game, and we had 2 really good chances to actually do that. One in the first half, the second one coming there in the second half. Again, finishing not a strong point. Kevin De Bruyne very nearly put the home side 2-0 in front after the 55th minute. And as Riyad Mahrez departed the field of play, he was, of course, the goal scorer, the man who looked like he was going to give Man City the points until Izquierdo got through. And that is what I'm talking about. The whole of that situation has to be a goal. I don't know how on earth we didn't put the ball in the back of the net. And just before that actually happened, I actually substituted Izquierdo, but the ball didn't leave play until he got a second chance at it, and this time didn't make a mistake. We actually were the better side here. In many ways, I've kind of looked at games in the past, and sometimes if you score so early on, it can kind of be a hindrance as well. And I think that's kind of what happened to Man City, because they scored so early that they genuinely kind of took their foot off the gas a little bit and expected this to be an easy game. So as the second half came and we moved up to that attacking, the press was getting to them and we were creating chances. And there you go, Izquierdo, his final contribution before leaving the field of play would be an equalising goal for a Brighton side that were fighting very, very hard and deserved at least a point from this game. City's delivery from a crossing again, this time cleared away. Pascal Gross found Florian Andone. He found his man over on the right-hand side, which was to the feet of Ali Reza. He then played it back towards Andone, towards Pascal Gross, bursting through the midfield, thinking surely not. Unfortunately, the goalkeeper came good. Ali Reza put the ball back in towards the mixer. Unfortunately, Knockaert's an eventual effort went wide of the post. And I actually saw the comment on that one. Of course, I was actually pronouncing his name wrong, as I thought I was. Is it Jahan Bash? I've apologised again. But I did see a comment from Irfan who said that we can pronounce it as Ali Reza. Or call him Ali Reza, not pronounce it. Just call him Ali Reza. So that's what I'm going to be doing. So hopefully you guys understand. I suck with pronunciations. I've said it before. And I genuinely sometimes make myself feel so stupid when it comes to players' names. But there we go. So for the sake of it, we've been told that we can call him Ali Reza. I'm going to keep calling him Ali Reza for now. And it's just a lot easier for me as well. So hopefully you guys understand that. But at the City of Manchester Stadium, we just about got the result. Ultimately, I feel we deserve to win that game. We had chances. And if we'd have got the whole finishing side of things on lockdown, we would have got away with the 3 points there. So not the greatest performance from Man City. I think the early goal kind of hindered them a little bit. They took their foot off their gas, as I said. And ultimately didn't really play to their best of their ability, but for us personally, our finishing was absolutely atrocious. So to at least get a point from there, I think is a very, very good result. You know, it's not an easy place to go. They won the title last season, and so I was quite happy with the result. A little interesting thing now to pop up for you. We do pick up a Player of the Month award. Our first in the series. Izquierdo has picked it up. But if you actually take a look at another message that pops up alongside this, you now get a shortlist every month as well. So you can kind of see what sort of players are performing to the best of their ability in the Premier League. We actually had 3 of the 4 players on this shortlist were from Brighton. So we had a 75% chance of pretty much getting it, and luckily we did. Izquierdo was the man who picked up the Player of the Month award. But as you do see, the shortlist pop up right here, there was him, there was Danny Welbeck of Arsenal, there was Davy Proper as well from, of course, Brighton, and I think the other one was Pascal Gross as well, who were the 3 involved from ourselves. Yeah, it was Davy Proper, Pascal Gross, and Izquierdo, the 3 Brighton players there. Of course, Izquierdo, the man who picked the actual award up. So he starts on the left-hand side here for the visit of West Ham United. Again, ultimate difficulty, still trying to work out everything that I need to know. But I've got to say this, you can definitely feel the improvement. I know it still looks like we're playing quite well when we're winning games and such, but some of the play that this AI do on ultimate difficulty, you just literally can't get near them. Sometimes if they are playing the ball around you with one-touch passing, it's very, very difficult to defend. So that's going to have to be what we have to do here. But again, we've gone with the same lineup, Locadia and Phil Foden. Ali Reza on the right-hand side. And on the left is Izquierdo, the Player of the Month. For West Ham, though, should I say. It is Arnautovic up front, the man that I'm worried about, because he is a little bit overpowered this year. I don't think pace is going to make that much of a factor, but he has everything he needs to be an important striker in terms of his role. We weren't able to really do much in the first half, so it came until the second before we decided that we were going to be a bit more front foot attack-wise. I didn't want to lose the game by trying to go too forward and then end up getting caught. Pascal Gross, though, found Ali Reza, who did, in fact, put us 1-0 in front in the 70th minute mark. But when you actually take a look at the goal, it's Phil Foden, the man who helped set this up. Since his move from Man City, Phil is playing very, very well. I said at the start of the series, when we picked up Ollie Watkins in episode 1, that he was the man to do bits for us. But actually, it's actually been Phil Foden who's doing the bits at the moment. You can see his back heel in order to play that. He didn't actually get the assist because he didn't play the final pass, but the back heel in the setup was what allowed it to actually happen. So, yeah, seriously happy with his involvement here, Phil Foden. And that happened to be the only chance of the game. And I'm not actually even lying to you when I say that, because when I show you these match facts now, you'll understand why that actually was. This is probably one of the worst games of FIFA I think we're going to see in this series. Take a look at this as I show you it. 1 shot for Brighton, 1 on target with 76% of possession. But if you actually take a look at what West Ham did, 1 shot on target, 1 shot, 0 on target, 24% of possession. So, as I said, very, very, very poor game there. Ultimately, we got the 1-0 win. That's what we needed to do. And with that, at the halfway stage of today's episode, guys, you can see there, we're 7th place. A win would take us actually into the top 4, depending on results elsewhere. Obviously, it's still early days yet. There's still 30 Premier League games to go. You can easily move up and down the table pretty much from one result or even another. So I wouldn't really count us just yet. Chelsea obviously below us, Man City below us, Liverpool below us. Don't be expecting them to be there come 38 games. So although we are doing very well indeed, there's still a lot to go. And Wolves are in the top 4, for example. Bournemouth are in the top 4, for example. So there you go. Like I said, there's still a long, long way to go. So even though we are 7th, don't get too excited yet, is what I'm going to say to you guys. There's all the more reason, though, if we can get a good run of results together as we take on Newcastle United at St James's Park. They're actually below us in the table as well, currently sat 14th. And going into this, we had the better of the current form. So if you take that into account, we are looking the more likely from the game itself. But given the way that the last 2 games have gone, finishing wasn't on point against City at the Etihad. Then we played against West Ham where we only created 1 real chance. We had to be very patient during that game. And they named the same formation as we did, but I felt that we actually, on paper, had slightly the better team than what Newcastle did. Phil Foden, as I said, is doing bits at the moment. And it was actually Newcastle with a first chance. Kennedy in towards Ayoze Perez, who shoots goalwards. It comes back off the post, and Isaac Hayden put the ball into the empty net. But the offside flag went up, and the former Arsenal man was quite frustrated because he thought he'd scored his first Premier League goal of the season, but not meant to be. Again, it took us a long time to really get started in the game. We didn't start off very well in the first half, but Davy Proper found Izquierdo. His shot beaten away, But there was Jurgen Locadia arriving on it first in order to put the rebound into the net. A very similar way to what Newcastle had the goal in the other end, which was ruled out. This time, though, Locadia is onside, and the goal does stand. But you've got to say, from Newcastle's perspective, not great defending. It's a hopeful ball through to Izquierdo. The shot isn't brilliant. Keeper, you're always taught, if you can't catch it, put it out. Don't palm it back into the danger area. He did that, and there was Jurgen Locadia to fire home the opening goal of the game. And it just so happens as well that we kept the pressure on. Montoya's delivery towards Izquierdo, headed out towards Davy Proper. Proper to Pascal Gross, and his shot narrowly wide of the corner. If we'd have got a second there, I'd have been buzzing, because genuinely speaking, I don't feel that we're going to get more than just 1-0 wins this season. If we get a 2-0 or a 3-0, I'll be very, very surprised, as Jurgen Locadia very nearly got our second of the game, denied by the crossbar. But as I said, 1-0 seems to be the scoreline which works for us. So, you know, it's one of my more favourite scorelines in the world of football. I love a 1-0 win because it shows you being able to defend very, very well. And there it was, against a tough side. As I say, St James's Park is no easy feat. But match facts, again, we dominated possession. Very much my play style. Very much what I want from my teams. Even if you guys, outside of it, you know, even if I'm, not even playing career mode, I do coach as well, guys, for anybody who is new to the channel, because we had quite an influx on the channel recently. I finished my level 1 coaching course, and I do coach outside as well. Same scenario. In my team that I coach outside, I want them playing possession football. So, yeah, it's a very... I'm kind of set in stone about the way I want to play. So if I can get the Brighton side doing it, even better. Showing you actually the youth academy here. I'm really excited about a few people that have come through. As you can see, I promoted Tony Alexander there. 6'2" CDM from England. He's got a 4-star weak foot, as we are promoting and getting rid of a couple of players as we go through it. But I'm really excited about the prospects of our youth academy here. Quite a few really good players that are coming through, which by probably next season, they'll actually play a part in terms of squad depth. So, yeah, I'm really excited about it. And there's going to be one change that I'm going to do in terms of what I actually do this time around to what I did in previous saves on FIFA 17. When I would promote a youngster, I didn't loan list them. I'm going to actually try and see if this year loaning them out makes much of an impact. Because if it does, then every time you promote a youth academy player, you want to loan them out. Because obviously on Football Manager and games like that, it does actually play a factor and help you out. But I feel like sometimes when you loan them out in game, they don't actually make that much of an improvement. So it's sometimes better to keep them in your club and train them every now and again through the system than it is actually sending them out. But I'm going to try and see if that works this time around. If it does, of course, happy days. We'll have some nice growth coming out of them. But for the final game of the episode, we took on Wolves at the Amex. And actually, we started off a lot better than we did in the previous 3 games here. We should have taken the lead. Pascal Gross just couldn't sort out his feet as he found his way into the box, which John Ruddy ended up collecting the loose ball, put the ball up. Jimenez wins the initial header. We then lose the second one, which Montoya's in no man's land. Jimenez plays it through to Jota. He then puts the cross in, and at the back post, they win the header. And unfortunately, although we put pressure on them in the earlier 32 minutes, we fell a goal to 0 down, and it was another cross. So, I mean, yep, same way we conceded against Man City. It's the only 2 goals we've conceded so far in the episode, and they've both been from similar situations. Wide deliveries. I had this problem in FIFA 18. It looks like it's going to be the same case here. We've got to sort out this Brighton team defending from set pieces and from crosses into the box. Otherwise, things are not going to get much better. We very nearly had an equaliser. Davy Proper deflected shot coming off the woodwork there with 14 minutes left to play. But ultimately, we were pretty bad here at the Amex. Not a home performance that you can be expecting of this Brighton side. And tried to make a couple of changes to change it around. Ollie Watkins came on, didn't really play a factor. He's still yet to score a Brighton goal, Ollie Watkins. I've got a feeling he will come good, but we need him to do that very, very soon, because otherwise things are going to get very bad here. I mean, look at this, right? We had 7 shots, but the only worthy highlight of showing you guys was the goal from Wolves. So, yeah, it is what it is. I mean, as I said to you in a previous episode, you know, Wolves are a tough side this year. They're going to probably do quite well, similarly to Fulham. So we can't be too disheartened about that, but then you look at the way the goal went in. It's very much avoidable. But even though we did fall to a defeat there, you know, we still did quite well, picking up a point at Manchester City, getting 2 wins after that. Both 1-0 wins, of course, against Newcastle and also earlier on against West Ham. Then we lose that game to Wolves by a goal to nil. It is what it is. But we do actually find ourselves 5th place for the ending of today's episode. Obviously, as I said earlier, there's a long way to go. That will change. But if you enjoyed this episode, a like would be greatly appreciated. As always, thank you so much for all of your support over the last 4. I'll see you all again 4 p.m. tomorrow for episode 5 of the series. If you are new around here, hit that subscribe button. You don't want to miss an upload. And I'll catch you all again tomorrow, guys. Until then, adios.